So, you see, if you signed up for Canvas, you'll see I've been updating it and adding assignments and working on it every day to make it better and better. But to me, for inequalities, you're gonna have probably two questions. Probably gonna have a word problem, and then you're probably gonna have an explicit inequality to just tell you the inequality, and one is gonna be a word problem. So let me see if I can, uh, let me see if I can find something for inequalities on here, and we'll do a small problem. Um, uh, I would say I would spend a whole lot of time on inequalities. I would spend more time in the equations to make sure I can do all the slopes, equations of the lines, the parallel, perpendicular, the slope, and equation of a line from 2 points. I will make sure because those are going to be about 7 to 10 questions. So we talk
Right.
about time, you talk about effort. You're probably not going to have more than two inequalities,
Okay.
and I would probably let me show you. I'm going to show you. Let me see. Got a study guide open. Let me see. I don't think I don't remember the study guide having a inequality, but I'll show you one here. I'll show you. Let me see this. You can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So, like a problem like this, okay? This is an inequality, okay? Um, it's not explicit inequality, not ask you to solve anything, but it's an inequality. So, this is what I meant by one of the inequalities is going to be a word problem. So first of all, what you're gonna do, this is and watch how I break this down. So a lot of times people get confused by this, but watch this. Annie is planning a business meeting for a company. She has a budget of $13.25 for renting a meeting room at a local hotel and providing lunch. She expects 26 people to attend the meeting. The cost of renting the meeting is $270. Which inequality shows how to find the amount X Annie can spend lunch for each person? So first of all, remember what I told you. You want to do identify your givens, right? So she has a budget of 1325. Right away,
So it's got to be less than
less
13,
than.
20. Yeah.
So I can get rid of A and I can get rid of C right away without doing any work yet. Why? Because what she has to spend has to be less than or equal to 1325. So anything greater than, you look at these symbols, that's your greater than sign, you get rid of A and C right away. Second thing, this is the number that's variable. This the number is going to stay the same. No matter how many people come, the room costs 270. So you already know, and you done.
Yeah.
That's a 15-second problem.
Okay.
Okay. Let me try to find.
Okay.
Let me try to find an inequality for you, an explicit inequality. Let me see. Let me just type it in. And again, I can't tell you enough. I would spend. I would maybe spend 3 or 4 hours on inequalities, and I would keep it. I mean, that's just what I would do. I can't tell you what to do, but
Okay.
it's not worth it's not worth it for two questions, right? But
Yeah.
Right.
so uh, because most people get confused, what happens is you're working on algebra, and then the inequality they tell you to switch the sign. There's all these reasons why you switch, and it's like you cause yourself more confusion. Oops. Right? So let me open this up
Hmm.
real quick. And again, this is a free resource internet called software. I got links on my site. Let's see if we can find a nice problem. I'm gonna try to find one where the variable is negative and on the right side. What just happened? What just happened? Wow.
Did it sign you out of everything?
I don't. Yeah, it must have. That was weird. Hmm, hmm. It's not that. It's not. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It's making me sign in. again. Now I gotta do the double. My computer, for some reason, a little bit slow today. I have no idea. Wow, this is ridiculous. What I don't want to understand is why did it even try to? This is really weird. It keeps doing the same thing. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let me pause and record all this wasted time for a second. Let me grab my pencil. Okay, so let's look at no, not number 8. That's on the left side. Let's look at number 7.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 7 less than minus quantity of minus k minus 3 plus 2. That's a whole lot of, right? I think, Brittany, you asked one about a fraction, but let's do this one first. 7
Okay.
less than, if you have a negative on the outside of parentheses, that's like you're multiplying. So you do that first. A negative on the outside of parentheses is really simple. You just change the sign of everything inside. So you can have k plus 3 plus 2.
Oh, okay.
So the negative is on the outside of parentheses. All that means is change the sign of everything inside. Okay, so then we combine like terms. We got 7 is less than k plus 5. We subtract 5. Here we get 2 is less than k. So here is where you switch. Then you switch the inequality. So what we did was switch sides, put the variable on the left, the value on the right. This is where you switch this inequality. K greater than 2. Okay, let's try number 9. Let me see if I can find one with a fraction, because that's the ones that give you difficulty, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can make one up. Let me see if I'll make one up. Let's see. Let me go to a blank page. See everything. Let me see. I guess 2/3 b minus 1 is greater than minus 15 thirds. I don't know. I'm just making this up. All right. So got that fraction. First of all, anytime you have a fraction, okay, to get rid of it. So I don't care what it is. So let me start with a simple um um problem like this. 2/3 x, right, is equal to 16. How do we get rid of that fraction? Multiply it by the reciprocal.
Would you multiply it by 3?
Well, you multiply it by the reciprocal. So you flip it. So 2/3 multiplied by 3/2. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. The 3's cancel and the 2's cancel. You're left with x equal 48 over 2, which is 24. A lot. So are you right? Can you multiply by 3? Yes. But then you got to divide by 2 anyway. So since you got to multiply and divide at the same time, what we do is we multiply by the reciprocal. But we also want to make the variable positive. So for example, if I had a negative 3/4 x equal 12, right? Here, I'm going to multiply by negative 4/3. Still multiplying by the reciprocal, but 2 negatives make a positive. The 4's cancel. 3's cancel. Left with x equal negative 48 for 3, which is negative 16. So that's the first thing you got to remember. And a lot of educators don't teach it that way. So
Wait, you kind of lost me after you got the X. Where did the 48 come from?
multiply across. So 12 times negative 4.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Got me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay,
with you now.
good. All right, so let's look at that problem above. Let me erase this down here. I just wanted to show you that when you ever have a fraction as a coefficient, just multiply by the reciprocal. If it's negative, then it's the negative reciprocal. That's simple. That way you have to do all these other steps because you already know by multiplying by the reciprocal, they're going to cancel each other out. So
Yeah,
in this case here, again, those fractions, we got, now, this is what I would do. Okay, I watch other videos and they say distributive property first, 2/3 b minus 2/3. I don't want to work with fractions as least as possible. So here, I'm gonna multiply both sides by 3/2. The 2's cancel, the 3's cancel. I'm left with b minus 1 is greater than 3's cancel, minus 15 over 2. Add 1 to both sides. I get b is greater than, now this is where people make a mistake. This is easy though. Remember, 1 is the same as 2 over 2. Remember, when you have fractions, you
yeah,
want to have a same denominator. So we get b is greater than minus 13 over 2. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Tinsley. So, and this is why, and you're going to have one like this. You might have two expressions on both sides. So if you look at if you go in the ebook, Brittany, under inequalities, I'll give you some shortcuts. Make it even simpler. So make sure you check that out. So that way, because most of the time they're gonna give you the multiple choice. So use the multiple choice to figure out your answer. Then you want to do all that work. All
Okay.
right. So yeah, that's the inequality problem. You have any more here? I don't think so. Yeah, but I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time. So I really. Here's another um expression. They love algebraic expressions. Um, again, identify your givens. There are S steps, pedestal to the head. Number special in the Washington Monument is 27 less than 6 times the number of steps in the Statue of Liberty. So we know Statue of Liberty is S. 6 times S is 27 less. 6x minus 6s minus 27. I had a student take her test today. She finished about 50 minutes. She had 50 minutes left on exam. But I think it was 151. So she was very happy. I'm helping with science to finish science up. So remember, I want you to understand you don't have to know everything. And this is why I'm saying to you, don't spend a lot of time in the class because you're going to have 1 or 2 questions. All right? All right, what's
Okay.
next? What concept is next? What concept, what other concept would you like to?
What about polynomials?
What about polynomials?
Um, let's do the multiplying and the division ones.
So what do you mean division? So let me make sure I'm understand what you're saying. Let me make this a little bigger. Multiplying binomials and dividing polynomials, you're not going to have dividing polynomials. Even though on the concepts they tell you, yes, you're going to have it, and this is what you need to study. And since 2014, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I wouldn't waste my time I'm dividing. But what I
Okay.
would do is learn how to multiply. So if they do ask you to divide, right?
Okay.
What you
Yeah.
do is take the multiple choice and multiply, and then you can get your answer. But I wouldn't worry about division too much. So let me see if this is what you're talking about. So you're talking about a question like this?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or, or how about a question like this?
Either one.
Okay. So this is multiplying polynomials, right?
Yes.
Again, this is a concept you must know in exam. You must know in exam. You will have probably, I would probably say 3 questions that have to do with multiplying binomials. You have an explicit question that's going to ask you to multiply. You're going to have a quadratic equation where they're going to ask you to factor. Okay. Because remember, multiplying binomials is a concept you must know in order to be able to do quadratic equations.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, again, this is A, B, C, D. First of all, what I would do is understanding how to multiply binomials. I know how to find the first term and the last term. I know that's 6x squared. I know the last term is minus y squared. So right away, I got rid of B and D. That's just knowing your exponent rules and how to multiply binomials. So what happens is 2x times 3x is 6x squared. Minus y times y is minus y squared. So just by knowing the first and last term that I can do quickly, I got rid of 2 of the multiple choice.
Yeah.
Now, so remember, it's a multiplying binomials. By meaning 2. So I'm multiplying 2 by 2. That means I should have 4 terms, right? So 2x times y. Again, this is what people call, how can I multiply 2xy? Don't. It's just 2xy. You get confused. Oh, I don't know what xy is. You don't need to. Just bring the variables along with you. So plus 2xy. And then you have minus y times 3x, which is, again, we're going to change the order because we want the coefficients and the variables to look the same. So minus 3xy, so we can combine. So minus 3xy. You should know by now that when the variables are the same, they are like terms. Both of these have xy. That
Yeah.
means they are like terms. Combine their coefficients. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So this answer is 6x squared minus xy minus y squared. Don't put the 1 in front of the xy. And that answer, and that's an easy problem. You're going to have one of those guaranteed. Now, give you a little shortcut for quadratic equations. Let me see if I can find one. I'll just make one. I'll make one. Say, for example, I have x minus 5, x plus 3. Okay, this is a little different because both of them have just x. They don't have 2x, they don't have 3x, they don't have 1/3 x, it's just x, right? But I'm going to show you a little shortcut. Watch this. Minus 5 plus 3. So you take your two terms. This only works when these variables have a coefficient of 1. So there is no number in front of the x, it's just 1. Minus 5 plus 3 is minus 2. Minus 5 times plus 3 is a minus 15. I can easily see that. I can do that quickly. And if you can't do that quickly, then you should go back to sign numbers, combining sign numbers and multiplying divide sign. But I should be able to do that quickly. Minus 5 plus 3 is minus 2. Minus 5 plus 3 is a negative 15. X squared, this is going to be your middle term, your middle coefficient, minus 2x, minus 15. I'm done. I didn't do any work. Instead of going x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Minus 5 times x is minus 5x. Minus 5 times 3 is a minus 15. Are you still going to get the same answer? Yes. But it's a quick way. Coefficients of your variable is 1. Combine the terms to get the coefficient of your x and multiply the terms to get your third term. That way you don't have to waste time doing it one by one. Now, but this is what you can probably expect the GED a question like this. It's going to say factor. Let me make a problem up real quick. So it says factor 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. And you have a, which is 2x minus 5 times x minus 4. B would be 2x minus 5 times x plus 4. C would be 2x plus 5 times x plus 4. And D would be 2x plus 5 times x minus 4. So they're asking you to factor this. Mr. Tinsley, I thought we were multiplying by numbers. Why did you switch up and go to a concept? Because you already have the answers. So instead of you trying to factor this quadratic equation, that's going to take you 4 to 5 minutes, multiply by use the multiple choice and multiply by numbers. First thing you know, let me change my color, is that the first term is 2x squared, the last term is minus 20. So minus 5 times minus 4 is a positive 20. It can't be A. Plus 5 times plus 4 is a positive 20. It can't be C. Just by knowing what the first term and last terms and how to multiply by numbers, I got rid of 2 multiple choice. Now, if I guess, at least I got a 50-50 chance. But watch this. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. So I multiplied this first term by everything in the second parentheses. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing for the second term. Minus 5 times x equals negative 5x. And then minus 5 times 4 is negative 20. What you should notice, I'm going to go back to red. What you should notice is these are like terms. They both have the variable x. 8 minus 5 is 3. So the answer to this is 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. That is not what we should have. We should have 2x squared minus 3x minus 20. Now I know it's not B. I know my answer is D without even that less than 30 seconds. Now, to factor this would take you 4 to 5 minutes. If you actually factored this by hand, it would take you 4 to 5 minutes. But what we did, we circumvented because they gave us the multiple choice. And multiplying by numbers is easier than try to factor a quadratic equation where A is not equal to 1. When A is equal to 1, we don't have any problem. That's pretty easy. Okay? So, Mr. What do you mean it's pretty easy when the coefficient is 1? What do you mean? Why do you keep using this word easy? Right. So I had somebody an email. She sent me in for YouTube. She said, Mr. You keep saying it's easy, and it's making me upset because it's not easy for me. And I just imagine her crying and being upset, right? She just sent me an email 2 days later. And she said, Mr. Tinsley, now I know how to factor quadratic equation with 1. It's easy. So I'm not saying initially not a
Yeah.
lot of these concepts aren't easy, but a lot of the shortcuts that I'm showing you make them easy. For example, watch this. So I'm x squared. Let's do plus 4x minus 21. Okay. So what you're doing is what 2 numbers can I combine together? That's going to give me 4. And I multiply together, that's going to give me 21. What you should see 21, well, 1 times 21, 3 times 7. 3 and 7. I see I can get to a 4 from 3 and 7, right? So watch this. This is a positive number. So I know my largest number is positive. X plus 7, x minus 3. Done. Done. That's why knowing your multiplication tables, knowing your factors are very important. If your coefficient is 1, the GED, you should be able to factor it and solve it. Solve this is fact. To solve it, you got to find your zeros. What values of x make this 0? The opposite of plus 7, minus 7. Opposite of minus 3, plus 3. So the solutions to solve this quadratic equation, minus 7 and 3. But look how fast I factored. Look how fast I got that problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what you take into account. And this is what you practice. So this is why on the site, I have you multiplying by numbers. But I got them to the point where now you should be able to practice enough. And you see that coefficients, you should be able to do them in your head. Okay. Now, say you don't know how to do quadratic equations. I also show you in the ebook how to take coefficients and put them in your calculator and do it for you. Just got to take the time to step by step and keep doing the same problem 2, 3, 4, 5 times till you got it. Then no matter what quadratic equation they give you, you get the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if I have an example here for a quadratic equation. I can't believe I do. That's just right there. And look at that problem. I can tell you right now, you factor that's going to take you all day. So guess what? I'm not. This is what I need you to understand when you're taking an exam. If you are taking a multiple choice math exam, one of those answers, one of those multiple choice is your answer. Understand what an equation is. No matter what I put for x, if it's a solution to this quadratic equation, I should get 0. Why? Because it says equal 0. If it said equal 5, whatever I put for x, got to be equal 5. If it said equal 10, whatever I put for x, got to be equal 10. So if you know that, now, so this is what I'm going to do so you see how this problem is done by hand. And then I'm going to show you how to do it with the calculator. Watch this. It's going to be magic. So first of all, I know that this, oops, let me change back to red. And I'm going to walk through it and talk through this problem, how you would do it algebraic. So first of all, you have to recognize that standard of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So I have 4x squared minus x minus 5 equals 0. So I know my a is equal to 4. My b is negative 1. My c is negative 5. Since a is not 1, I must find the factors of a times c. A times c is negative 20. So I need to find the factor pairs for negative 20. So I got 1 times negative 20. Now I go right in order. I start from 1. I don't skip. I don't guess. I go 2 times negative 10. 3 does not go into 20. 4 times negative 5. 5 goes into 20, but I know on the other side of this factor pairs, I'm reversing the signs. So I'm already going to have 5 on the side because I have 5 here. So minus 1 and 20, I'm just reversing the signs from everything I have on the left. Minus 2, 10, minus 4, 5. So these are all the factor pairs of negative 20. So now I want to find the factor pair that's going to give me minus 1. And that is 4 and negative 5. Because 4 minus 1 is negative. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. My God, Ms. Tinsey, that's a lot of work. You're 100% right. Because then I have to factor by grouping. So I got to, so instead of these, so instead of this term, I'm going to replace it with these two terms. What do you mean replace it, Mr. Tinsey? I'm about to show you. 4x squared plus 4x minus 5x equals 0. When I combine these two, I get negative x, but I'm a factor by grouping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor these together, and oops, I forgot something. I forgot the minus 5. Sorry about that. Minus 5 equals 0. And I'm going to factor these together. My factor, I need the same in both. So I'm going to pull out a 4. I'm going to pull out an x. So I got x. If I pull out a 4 and an x, I got x plus 1. Here, I'm going to pull out a negative 5. And I'm going to get x plus 1. So now they share a factor of x plus 1. Now I can combine these two terms. So I get 4x minus 5 times x plus 1. This is fact, but they're asking me to solve it, so I'm still not done. So let me move this up here. I got 4x minus 5 times x plus 1. So this one is easy. Opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. That's easy. But then here, the opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. Then you put it over this coefficient, which is 4. So my two solutions are plus negative 5/4 and negative 1, which is this first. Now, I know I just gave you a headache. I can see the smoke coming from your brain right now. You are sitting there thinking, oh my God, when I finish this, I'm going to be a NASA scientist. But guess what? What I'm about to show you, you need to do any of that. So that took us 4.5 minutes. Watch this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? I'm
Uh-huh.
going to solve it in less than 30 seconds. Watch this. I'm going to clear the screen. This is my A. This is my B. This is my C. This is my D. I'm going to take my calculator. And I know the answers. I know the possible answers that it could be. So I want you to start counting now. Got 0, 5 fours. I got 0. Done. Minus 1 and 5 fours. I'm done. Not even 30 seconds. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you take your time, go through this ebook, I'm going to show you, instead of spending 5 minutes with this problem, you spend 30 seconds. Now, what if this problem now I don't have to study how to do this for 2 or 3 weeks. If you're taking an adult education class, how long was your teacher on quadratic equation? At least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I just showed you 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And I also show you another way how to identify A, B, and C and put them into the calculator and get your answer. So what I would suggest, once you have the ebook, is you take 2 weeks to make sure you know how to do it. You learn how to use it. Why? Because now this 5-minute problem, that took me 5 minutes. How long did that problem take you? You'll be frustrated, pulling out your hair, throw your phone across the room. I can't do it. Right? Because that's what happens when you're taking your GED exam. So you've been studying for months, and you get to the exam, and you get to a problem, and you say, oh my God, what are they talking about? Am I right or wrong?
Yep.
And you get frustrated,
Uh-huh.
and you get yourself upset. But listen to what I'm telling you. I'm going to give you the ways in the ebook to solve the hardest problems in less than a minute. So now what happens when that hard problem that you spent 5, 10 minutes earlier, now you finish in 15 seconds. Now your confidence is building. You're like, oh, I got this. I know I'm gonna pass this time. And this is what I would suggest. I can't tell you what anybody else. All I know is I had one person who did not pass their exam. She passed it. So I'm back to that 100%. I did a session with her. She found out her mistakes. She went in. She said, Mr. Tinsley, everything you said, I used. She said, I skipped 12 problems. If it was difficult, I skipped it. I finished almost an hour, had an hour to go when I finished the exam. And then I went over those 12 problems. She said I could do about 6 of them. I did those 6. The other 6, she took educated guesses. She said, now she got 1 test left. She'll be done. I don't want you studying with me 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I need you to say, okay, let me go through this ebook for a couple weeks to know how to use this calculator. Then I'm going to use that site to practice, practice, practice. So let me just say this. He's not here tonight, but I had a young man who beat himself up of what he could not do. Well, I had a session with him over the weekend. He had 6 assessments, 6 quizzes he took. 100, 100, 100, 100, 78, and then one he had a 10. And the first thing he said to me was, I got a 1 out of 10 since I didn't understand. I said, let's go back in and do it. Before I could even say anything, he started doing problems and getting them right. Because when you get frustrated, you cut off oxygen to your brain and then you can't even think straight. So what
Yeah.
I'm telling you to do is when you get to the exam, it's a difficult problem, it starts to frustrate you, flag it for review, go to the next problem. And then because to the next problem, that's probably gonna be a problem that you can do much easier. Then you build that self-esteem, you building your confidence back up. Then you come back to that problem. If you can't do it, pick a letter, keep it. Okay.
That's true.
That's
Okay.
what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you'll pass the exam. I'm telling you. You learn how to store a variable in this calculator. You learn how to solve find the equation of a line from 2 points using the calculator. You know how to do your volume problems, area problems, your perimeter problems with the calculator, your system of equations with the calculator. Then you don't have to waste the 2 or 3 weeks studying. Now, if you go to nursing school or college next, then I say take the time, take the month, 2 months, 3 months that you need to, because you're gonna need all the foundational skills. And in those exams, you cannot use a formula sheet. You cannot use a calculator. But my site still will help you with all of it. So even when you're done using it and you pass your GED, use it for whatever's next.
Yeah.
I got 2 people using it. They're in college algebra,
No.
still using the site. So, um, look at this one right here. Let's do this part. 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. Who would know how to do that? I wouldn't know how to do that. It takes forever, right? Look at that problem. Would you even know how to do that problem?
No.
So again, ax squared. So a is 3, b is 2, c is minus 8. Okay. Since my coefficient is not 1, multiply a times c, which is negative 24. I'm going to find the factors of negative 24. 1 and negative 24, 2 and negative 12. This is 3 and negative 8, 4 and negative 6. Reverse the signs on the other side. Minus 1 and 20, minus 2 and 12, minus 3 and 8, negative 4 and 6. Ooh. What pair is give you positive 2? Right there. So what you can do is you can rewrite this question here, or expression 3x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 8. Mr. Tinsley, why'd you put the 6x first this time? Because 3 is a factor of 6. If I put that minus 4, 3 and minus 4, there's no factor of 3 and minus 4 besides 1. So that's how I knew that the minus 4x couldn't go first. So now I factor it out. I factor by grouping. The greatest common factor of 3 and 6 is 3. The greatest common factor between x and x squared is x. So I got x plus 2. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to pull out a negative 4. And I got a positive negative 4. And we got x minus x plus 2. Because minus 4 times x is minus 4x, minus 4 times a positive 2 is a minus 8. We share a factor of x plus 2. I can now combine these two. So I get 3x minus 4 times x plus 2. That's how you would factor. Solve it, be positive 4 over 3 and negative 2. Who wants to do that on the exam? Don't you understand that that's gonna hurt your brain? So again, I give you another way to solve a quadratic equation using the calculator. Go on that ebook, learn how to do it. Watch this. 3 store A, 2 store B, minus 8 store C. And D minus B plus B squared minus 4AC. This is the formula that they give you on, on the GED formula sheet. You gotta know how to use this calculator, know how to use that formula sheet. Because now I don't have to spend 5 to 10 minutes doing that problem. I'm gonna let the calculator do the work for me. So I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot the square root. I apologize. Let me go back and do it for you. Let me clear everything out first. So we can start, so we can see it nice and clear. Watch this. Watch this. And I'll show you how to do this step by step in the ebook. Watch how fast I do it. You're gonna be amazed. I'm done. Remember, I found out what the answers were. I said 4/3, right? Now go
Mhm.
back in and change this to a minus sign. Not even a minute. Done. Minus 2 and 4/3. Done. So I don't need you worrying. I don't need you getting upset. But you should be going in as you're studying for this exam now. You should be going in with confidence because I'm gonna show you how to use the calculator and I'll give you a GED math course that you can practice as much as you want. I have 14 practice tests, and that's why I've been adding stuff the last couple of days, been working at it the weekends, because I want to make it to the point where, Brittany, I want to thank you for lighting a fire up under me because with Schoology, I had everything done, and I worked so long to get it right. And when they said can't use it for free anymore, I had to switch to Canvas. I couldn't just switch it. I had to spend all that time, hours and hours and hours. I just didn't feel like doing it. My dad just passed. I didn't feel like doing it. But when you said yesterday, you said, Mr. Tinsley, anything you know how to do, I can go to CK12 and I can look at the textbook and I can practice. Well, guess what? When I looked the next day, I had like 16 people in there practicing,
Uh-huh.
working. So you know what I said? You know what? I got to get this to the point where I had that other. So I've been working every day, weekends. I'm having to where you come in, people can take the exam, sign up for the course, and take it because that's what you need. You need practice. What happens is when you're in these sessions, right, and I'm going over it, you say, "Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it." But then when they give you that word problem, it's like, "Oh my God, what just happened? I don't understand anything." So the more you practice, the more you see different types of questions, the more focused and you'll be. Like, for example, when I look at this question, if you looked at my videos and you were in my session, you should laugh all the way to the bank. This is a 5-second problem. Can any of you do this problem? Can any of you find a slope of this line? Okay, watch this. This is what they want you to do. This is what they want you to do. Okay, in order to get y by itself, I need to get rid of the 3x first. Subtract 3x from both sides. 3x is canceled. I'm going to bring down my 4y equal. I'm going to reorder this because I know y equal mx plus b. That's how I want it to look. So I need to bring my term with the variable first. So I'm going to bring that over. Just put it first. Plus 8. See a plus sign above, but that's a positive 8. Y is still not by itself. The opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. Since these are not like terms, I need to divide by 4 separately. The 4's cancel. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. My slope is negative 3/4. My y-intercept is 2. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to do. And that took me, and I know how to do it. It took me a minute and some change. Now, this is the shortcut I show you. Take the opposite of that coefficient right there. The opposite of plus 3 is negative 3. Put it over that. coefficient of your B, you got your slope done. -3/4. So these are a lot of the things I go in the ebook. I go over these sessions, but you realize that first of all, you have to recognize this is standard form. If you get an equation in standard form, x plus by equals c, all you're doing is taking the opposite of this and putting it over this, and you got your slope. You don't have to solve for y. So if you in class, I went to a class, because a math teacher asked me to sit in her class. So I went to her class, and she went over a problem like this, and going over it in class, she took 4 to 5 minutes, right? She let her students do the problem, and and she said, if she was like, she had on the LCD like maybe 10 problems in there, and she had her students come up with problems. Well, before they came up to the LCD to do the problems, they sat there for 5 minutes. I said, excuse me, can I explain this concept in a different way? She said, yeah, that's why I brought you here to see, to help me. I said, okay, I appreciate that. I showed them this step, and then I gave them, I put 2 problems on the board. The whole entire class got it right under 15 seconds.
Wow.
She said, oh my goodness. Math is about patterns. So the more you practice on my site, the more you'll see patterns, the more you'll see terminology. You'll know what type of problem right when you see it. Right when you see it. So this is what I want to prepare you for as you practice in my site, as you take the practice test. Now, I don't want you going right into the practice test. That's why I have the pre-test first. Make sure the foundational skills, whole numbers, fractions, decimals, ratio, proportions, percents, you have 80 or above. If you have 80 or above, I can show you any concept in math just like that. And you know your multiplication tables. But that's what I aim to do. Okay. So let me cut this off for a second. Pause it. So we got a couple minutes left. Any questions? Any final questions or anything you've been working on this week that I can help you with? Teresa, do you have access to my math course? Have you been using it?
Yeah, I've been going in and out. I haven't been feeling my best, so I haven't been really good. I've been in and out of doctor's appointments and stuff, but I was looking at it earlier.
Okay, so I made it a little bit better now. I'm working on it every day. So instead of you having to click on it and sign in the CK12, now you can sign in the CK12 with your Gmail. And now under the assignments, as you press the arrow to go to next, so you take your pretest, you don't have to do the assignments, but I have them in there. So you can just hit next. And with anything you want to work on, it'll have it right there. And you can then practice them. And then you turn it in and it reports it to Canvas.
Okay.
So I've been working on that. I went through all the practice tests for any errors that I found. I found quite a few errors again that didn't switch over when I switched back from Schoology to Canvas. So I've been fixing those. I think I'm up to the practice test 14. I still got 2 more to go, but I'm almost finished all the practice tests with no errors. So I'm really working hard to get to the point where I had it before. And I'm also going to put, I got about, I think, 11, 12, 13 people that I didn't uh, 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 celebrate for passing their GED math since my dad been sick. I think I put 4 the other day, but I think another 13 people that'll put me over 300. So I'm proud about that.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
So y'all have a wonderful night. Remember, Brittany, Teresa, any questions you have, if you get stuck on something, take a picture, send it to me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night. You're welcome.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.